What's up guys, Steve here. Welcome back to my channel. Another episode of monthly earnings of my Turo fleet. Kind of give you guys a heads up of what's going on. You guys saw December, January was absolutely horrible. January was my worst month by far. February, let's see how it goes. Now before we get into this, if you guys are new to the channel, I basically do videos on how to make your peer-to-peer rental car fleet run as smoothly as possible. I mainly deal with Turo, so that's where all my stats come from. I have done good around in the past and it just kind of wasn't my cup of tea, and the other ones I just don't really mess around with too much. It just seems like Turo's the one to deal with. May have people with their opinions on it, but out of all of them, Turo seems to have their act together the most out of all of them. Alright guys, so let's get right into this. We will go down here to January's earnings. As you can see, February was, blah blah blah. Flip that. We will get into February's earnings. As you can see, January's were not that great, 2,700 for January. Then we bump up into February. Looks like people are back out on the road. They're willing to get out and go explore the beautiful state of Arizona before it gets hot. So we got 55, 53 for the month. And let's do the breakdown. Fiesta, the good old Fiesta, 777. Nope, sorry, that's total earnings so far that's been paid out. 716 for the month. That's not too bad, and I have seen better from this car, but let's see what's going on with that. So go to calendar, go down to February, and it actually did pretty well, but prices were still quite a bit lower than normal. I can't show the actual daily rates on this like you can see here, but it does show the utilization, and honestly it was just after January it was time to get this car back out on the road. So we made it out and actually did pretty good. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 days or so that it was down. Pretty good, not too upset with that. It actually did really good, and that's one of the cash cars, so don't have to worry about a whole lot. It's just cash flow. As you can see, I got an inspection report coming on one of my cars here soon. Reviews, okay, so now let's go back to Ford Focus. Check this out. March, it's actually looking really good. I like that. But February, 727. This is what we got. Let's go over here to the calendar and see how well this is actually doing. Now, if you guys are unaware, I'm on the 80 plan, so deductible 750. If you need to figure out more about that, how to work whatever way you want to go with that, I got a different video for that. But just so you know, I'm on the 80 plan. So February, looks like I shut it down for a couple days here. That's because this is the one that hit an elk. And then there was a little bit of minor bumper damage on a freshly redone bumper. But honestly, I probably wasn't going to get a booking in those few days. But for the most part, this car was pretty well gone. And you can see here, March is looking pretty good too, but we're sticking with February. So overall, you're looking about 5 days that this car was down, and I blocked it out, 3 of those 5. So back over here to earnings, go to the Honda Civic, and this one did $895. Like I said, I've seen better numbers with all these cars being throughout the month, but with coming off January, how bad it was, and just trying to get these cars back on the road, and obviously making more than, getting that cash flow going and making more than what I owe on these cars was a good thing. So $895. Let's go over here, see what the utilization was for this. Now this was one I had a renter that basically had it for the full month. He was over here from Ireland. Actually, he had it for a little over a month. Came over here from Ireland, great renter, and he brought this car back and it was immaculate. He put about 2,000 miles on it. I think he had roughly 8,000 allotted to him. Overall, he brought it back, and I mean, it was good. He kind of scared me a little bit because as I do my normal 24-hour, pre-check-in message, I'm like, hey, hope everything's going good. He's like, oh yeah, man, this thing's really good. It's making a weird noise though. And I'm like, okay, cool. When did it start making a weird noise? Oh, about a week into the trip. It's like, dude, what? Come on, man. Tell me this stuff before it happens, you know what I'm saying? So not really a whole lot to say with the Civic there, other than it was gone all month, and that's what you consider passive income, I guess. Not having to really worry about that too much. So let's go down here to the Hyundai Accent, 690 for the month. Go over utilization. The Accent's the one that needs the inspection report. I better knock that out. Let's go to the calendar. In February, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, roughly a week that this thing was down. But you can see that thing is, I mean, it did pretty good. It still did a little bit better in January, but it was still pretty close to January's utilization. So not really a whole lot to say to that, other than thank God these cars are out and making money. That's all I can say. Now before we get into the next car, as always, do that stuff down below. It'll really help out the algorithm. You know, like, subscribe, get notifications, whatever. Y'all know what to do. And if you guys do want help, by all means, there's a course down there. There's a way to get in a hold of me so we can do some one-on-one, whatever you guys need. But enough of that. Let's go back over here to the Jeep. The Jeep only went out a few times, $879. Let's go over, whoops, we already did that. $879, jump down to the Jeep, calendar, and there you see it, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, about 13 days. So 13 days in that Jeep sat. I did still have it a little bit higher priced. And then coming into March, I had downed it because I'm gonna be using it. Gonna have some of my own fun with it. On road, of course, right? Because we can't have these things go off road. Read the terms of service. So let's go back over here to earnings. We will see how the little Forte did. Forte 576, that's not too bad. Somebody's barbecuing. Smells amazing. So 576, it's not too bad. It's definitely not the greatest at all. And there's room for improvement. And we are still bumping up into what's to come as far as Arizona peak season. But let's go over here to the calendar, see what's going on with this thing right here. This thing was actually gone majority of the month. So clearly, y'all can see that I should have raised my prices a little bit. It did pretty good. There was only 3 days. Looks like it was down. Definitely way better than January. March is going to be even better. But once again, I was trying to get these cars out and make sure that they were working them streets, making that money. Mazda 6. Mazda did really well. Really well. Check that out. 1121. That's I'm definitely not mad at that. And you can tell March is looking pretty good for that too. Which actually I just got a booking on that one, and it's actually going to be gone for the next 53 days. But we'll get into that here in a second. So as you can see, February did really good with the Mazda to break 1,000. That clearly tells you right now that I had all the other car prices a little bit too low. The Mazda was down roughly 7 days out of the month, and I still was able to make that kind of money. A lot played into this though. I was getting a lot of airport deliveries at 120 bucks. Yes, 120 bucks to go 4 miles. People will pay it. So all you guys that are doing this free delivery, y'all wasting time and money. You gotta optimize everything that you can with all this stuff. So that in a nutshell gives you the earnings. March is actually looking really good. And once again, you definitely got to know what's going on in your market. So for us out here, we had the car auction, we had the Arabian Horse Show, we had the Phoenix Open, Waste Management Open. So that was all good. The market was still a little saturated with cars, but for the most part, you can see I was able to get them out at least. I had to be a little bit more competitive with my pricing, and March will be even better. But with March coming out here, spring break, it's usually a pretty big thing for us out here. And quite honestly, you got spring training, which I believe everybody's still on the walkout or the lockout, whatever. Players are still protesting. They're standing up to the man and making sure that they get paid. So that's kind of screwing things up for spring training. So that's one thing to take into consideration. But always know what's going on in your market. There could be little things here and there that are actually contributing to your bookings and your pricing, all that stuff. So just always constantly be up in it. Along with everything that's going on, some of the suggested rates, it's funny, Turo is way off with this. My Jeep, they want it for like 470 bucks on a Friday, 400 and something bucks a Saturday and a Sunday. Like, their pricing is all screwy. Now, if this was spring break month, you know, because it's alternating, you got different people coming in from different times. If it was spring break and we actually did have spring training, which I can tell you, spring training is huge out here. It's for anybody. I mean, obviously, it's a good way to go, you know, hang out at the fields and check out the upcoming players. But if all this stuff was going on, I'm not saying that the Jeep would be 400 bucks a day, but it would definitely be a lot higher than the 140 that I got it listed currently. So with all this, hopefully it helps out. Make sure no matter whether the advice is from me or somebody else, take it with a grain of salt. It's my opinion. What works best for me definitely what works best for you. Make sure you guys are sticking to it and not just giving these cars away. Don't leave money on the table as far as deliveries and all that. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff down below. Y'all know. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Keep grinding, y'all. Later.